Freunde, da bin ich wieder. Die Reaction auf Top 30 Best Cover-Songs bei Rock and Metal Bands. Ich bin gespannt, wo das hier hingeht, worum es geht. Also worum es geht, weiß ich. Geht um Coverversion. Das Rock irgendwas anderes gecovert. Wir gehen mal rein, wir gucken mal. Los geht's. 30 Minuten. Ich glaube nicht, dass wir uns jeden Song ganz antun. Whiskey in the Jar, Metallica.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the top 30 songs that had their energy dialed up
Mojo,
to
ne?
11 with a rock or metal cover version.
Okay, Megadeth haben den gecovert, das wusste ich nicht.
Number 30, I Love Rock and Roll
Ja,
by
kenn
Joan
ich.
Jett and the Blackhearts. Original by The Arrows. Some of you might be surprised to hear this is not actually a Joan Jett original. In fact, I Love Rock and Roll was written and recorded first by The Arrows in 1975.
Oh mein Gott.
One listen will be enough to tell you that the spirit and feel of the song was very much kept alive by Jett when she and the Blackhearts got a hold of it.
Klingt 1:1.
What they did do was succeed in introducing
Wie
this
das
previously
Original.
obscure song to the masses, elevating it to a level of one of the great 1980s rock songs. Critics did note that Jett's voice and attitude fit the track perfectly, and she deserves a lot of credit for making the song her own.
Wo macht sie denn da was an? Das klingt für mich wie das Original.
29. Bullet the Blue Sky by P.O.D. Original by U2. Who knows what U2 intended when they originally created Bullet the Blue Sky for their Joshua Tree album in the 1980s. But when P.O.D. covered it in 1999, it became something else.
Kann
The
man
song
machen.
gets injected with new metal and rap rock vibes, making it almost sound like it could have been a Rage Against the
kann
Machine
man
song
machen.
in parts.
Take the staircase to the first floor. You turn the key
Ja.
and slowly unlock the door.
It's a truly transformative cover that doesn't lose sight of the original's core identity. When it
Ich
explodes
würde
on the
sagen,
chorus,
klingt 1:1
it certainly takes the
90er Jahre
energy
New
higher
Metal,
than
ne?
Bono and company would ever dare to go.
Okay.
Number 28, Behind Blue
Ja,
Eyes
kennen wir.
by Limp Bizkit. Original by The Who.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad
Ich kenne das Original nicht.
man,
Alter,
to be the sad man.
das ist aber schlecht.
The idea of new metal giants Limp Bizkit taking on a classic from Brit rockers The Who probably seems like a disaster on paper. However, it's pretty fair to say that Fred Durst surprised a few people with his vocal
Oh, da
performance.
finde ich aber... Ja, da finde ich die Version von Limp Bizkit ein bisschen besser.
To be the sad man.
Though critical reception at the time was pretty negative, in the years that have passed, it eventually got its flowers, especially with fans looking for a serving of
Und ich
nostalgia.
glaube, das ist die Zeit gewesen, wo er sich mit Russ Borland gestritten hat. Ich weiß das aber nicht genau.
It doesn't go to the explosive place that The Who's original does, but Limp Bizkit managed to find their own path here, and it ended up working quite well.
My love is vengeance. That's never free.
Das war der DJ
Number
Lethal.
27, Cats in the Cradle by Ugly Kid Joe. Original by Harry Chapin. Who knows how many people in the 90s hard rock scene had heard Harry Chapin's Cats in the Cradle before Ugly Kid Joe put their stamp on it.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Kenn ich nicht.
Little boy blue and the
Also das Original kenne ich nicht.
It is certainly a cover that takes the original foundation and builds something fresh.
You said I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you.
Despite already securing an international hit single with Everything About You, Ugly Kid Joe outdid themselves with this one, hitting the top 10 in several major countries. To this day, it remains their signature song and a favorite at live concerts.
When you're coming home, son, I don't know when.
Ja, kennen wir. Weiter. Next.
Truly a cover pick that came
Bitte.
totally out of left field and somehow managed to work out perfectly.
Auch gut. Oh, wie alt war ich denn da?
Number 26, Rolling in the Deep by Linkin Park. Original by Adele.
Bitte?
On the long list of musicians who have covered Adele, Linkin Park certainly stand out, not only because of the major difference in sound and genre, but also because they
Noch
did
zu
an
quatschen.
amazing job.
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing
Ja gut, singen konnte der, ne? Da brauchen wir
The
nicht
late
drüber
great
reden.
Chester Bennington let his voice carry the brunt of the weight with his version, stripping things back to the bare minimum. Accompanied by just a piano, Chester doesn't need anything else to get his point across.
We could have had it all.
Ja, konnte der Rest der Band mal eben Pipi machen gehen, ne?
In hindsight, the poignant performances he gave us hit even harder now, and Rolling in the Deep is an especially raw and powerful one.
We could have had it
Okay.
all. Rolling in the deep.
Piep.
Number 25, Every Time We Touch by Electric Callboy. Original by Cascada. Classic club hits don't often end up getting a second life in the way that Cascada's Every Time We Touch did in the hands of Electric Callboy.
I still hear your voice when
Vor allen Dingen habe ich damals, als der rauskam, echt zweimal gebraucht, bis ich den erkannt habe. Ich habe gedacht, was machen die da? Was ist das? Sind die schon wieder besoffen? Und beim zweiten Mal hören fiel mir dann auch so, ey, kenn ich.
you sleep next to me.
This truly wild cover goes to some places you may not expect on your first listen, and trust us, the music video is also worth a watch.
'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling.
Ja, genau, ey.
I swear I can fly.
What it does do is give you a welcome dose of nostalgia for this era of dance pop, while also injecting something new.
I'm living on your love.
Ja.
It wasn't an instant hit on the charts, but it gradually found its commercial success, gaining the group tens of millions of views in the process.
'Cause every time we touch, I get this feeling.
Leider
Every time we kiss, I swear I can fly.
kommen die davon
Number
nicht weg.
24, Knockin' on
Ja,
Heaven's Door by
oh,
Guns N' Roses. Original by Bob
Habe ich
Dylan.
auch geliebt.
Knocking on heaven's door.
Gut, Bob
We're
Dylan ist
sure
jetzt nicht
Bob
meins,
Dylan
ne? Aber
was just
die
as
Guns N'
surprised as
Roses
anyone else
Version
to
habe
see
ich
Hard Rock
geliebt,
Heroes
als kleiner
Guns N'
Butschi.
Roses covering one of his most beloved songs. That said, Dylan's work has been adapted into all styles and genres, so who knows? GNR really did the numbers some justice, though, adding their own unique flavor and heaviness without distorting the message of the original.
Ja,
It was a decent hit for the band upon its release, but radio play allowed it to grow into one of their most beloved songs. As the story goes, while Dylan was not a fan of Guns N' Roses,
Nee?
he was quite happy with the
Okay.
money that this cover earned him due to royalties.
das glaube ich.
Number 23, Blue Monday
Oh,
by
der war
Orgy,
auch schön.
original by New Order. The truly great songs can stand up in many different genres, and New Order's seminal hit Blue Monday can certainly be counted in that group.
Blue Monday musste ich damals im Musikunterricht durchnehmen, in der Schule.
Despite its electronic roots, it just so happens to work very well as a 90s industrial rock song. We know this thanks to Orgy's punchy cover of it in 1998.
How does it feel to treat
The drums are more intense, the vocals less robotic, and it all comes together with a much heavier feel. Although there was a lot of restraint
Ja,
involved in New
auch
Order's
typisch
original, the song
New Metal,
very
ne?
clearly works when the
90er
energy is
Jahre New
dialed up.
Metal. Prototyp 90er Jahre New Metal.
It would go on to become Orgy's best-known song and their last to chart in the U.S. Number 22, Blinded by the Lights by Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Original by Bruce Springsteen. When Bruce Springsteen put out 2 singles from his debut album that failed to chart,
habe ich
it may
sogar
have been
schon
seen as
live
a failure
gesehen.
to some.
Die waren auf dem Reload.
Little did he know what he would eventually go on to achieve. And similarly, he had no idea that Manfred Mann would go on to score a #1 hit single with this composition.
Habe ich nur jemanden gesehen, der das gecovert hat.
Springfield failed to catch a spark.
Müsste ich mal nachgucken.
Reinventing the track in the band's own unique style.
Wusste ich aber auch nicht, dass das eine Coverversion war.
In later years, the original has finally gotten its dues, and while Bruce doesn't play it every night on tour, he never truly let it slip out of his sets entirely.
Figured it'd be alright. Well, he was blinded by light.
Number 21, Dazed and Confused by Led Zeppelin. Original by Jake Holmes.
I'm dazed and confused. Does it stay, does it go? Am I being choosed?
This is yet another example of a song that most people never knew was a cover. The problem with Led Zeppelin's Dazed and Confused is that it goes a lot deeper than a simple interpretation.
Been dazed and confused. So long it's not true.
Okay, ich kenne nur den Film, der so heißt.
Notorious for being a little loose with their songwriting credits.
Da kenne ich den Film leider, den Song leider nicht
had to
zu.
fight tirelessly to get his credit and monetary compensation. It's a great cover, make no mistake, and Zeppelin makes some pretty radical changes.
Sweet, sweet thing, I want you again. Yes, I do.
However, Jake Holmes wrote the outline for this song, and in a fair world, Page and Plants
Kann ich
would have
nur
immediately
hier den Film
given him
dazu
his
empfehlen.
dues.
Auch sehr cool. Ist auch Mila Jovovich ihre erste Rolle.
Number 20, Another Brick in the Wall, Part 1, 2,
Und
3
3 bei Korn. Ja,
Original by Pink Floyd.
Kenn ich.
Greatest Hits compilation
Beide.
albums can often be a great opportunity
Natürlich.
for bands to include some rare B-sides or cover tunes they'd played around with in the past. Korn's compilation of greatest hits included 2 covers. One of Word Up by Cameo and
Oh ja,
Another Brick
Word
in the
Up war
Wall
auch
by
cool.
Pink Floyd. The wild variation
Ja,
in styles between
schönes
these 2
Ding.
covers showcases Korn's wide array of influences, while the latter cover does a great job at modernizing Floyd's psychedelic rock sound. Korn's Another Brick in the Wall is dark, heavy, and mesmerizing, while also retaining the original's
dark würde ich jetzt nicht
groove and
sagen, aber
atmosphere. This one's
typischer Korn,
just
ne?
great. Number 19, Careless Whisper by Seether. Original by Wham, featuring
Okay,
George Michael.
das
Spinal
Cover ist an
Tap
mir
sort of
vorbeigegangen.
said it best.
Still a
It's
stupid
such a
cover.
fine line between stupid and clever.
And Seether's decision to cover Careless Whisper by George Michael and Wham
Also,
could have easily
das
fallen
kenne ich natürlich, das
into
Original.
cringe territory had the band not given the tune their all. This version of Careless Whisper is heavier, sure, but retains the original's melancholy melody. Meanwhile, Seether recreated that iconic sax line with their guitars, lending their own stamp to this 80s pop
Ja, dann
classic.
lass mal was hören.
The end results avoid sounding like a novelty song. There's no winking or nudging here, but instead, a legitimately cool
Ja,
cover that
okay.
works on its own musical merits. Number 18, Summer Breeze by Typo Negative. Original by Seals and Crofts. Some bands just possess a knack for releasing great covers.
Okay, die
Typo
von
Negative
Type O,
knocked it out of the park when they
Type O
contributed
kenne ich
Black
natürlich.
Sabbath for a tribute album.
Ja. Weiter, Biohazard. Okay.
Meanwhile, the Brooklyn goth metal group's third LP, Bloody Kisses, contained an unironic cover of this Seals and Crofts classic. The warm sunshine pop of the original is replaced by Peter Steele's fuzzed-out bass and brooding voice.
Oh, bloody kisses, ey.
Yet Typo Negative never sounds as if they're taking the piss. Instead, their Summer Breeze feels like a natural part of their influences, with the final take speaking for itself. It's a banger. Number 17,
Das ist richtig, das war ein Banger.
Ride Like the Wind by Saxon. Original by Christopher Cross. The decision of a band to open up an album with a cover song can often be a dicey one, inviting criticism that they might be out of ideas. Saxon's 1988 album Destiny
Darf ich kurz sagen, dass ich den Song nicht kenne?
Commercial appeal via this cover of Christopher Cross's Ride Like the Wind. But you know what? The band totally makes it work, despite the absence of those iconic Michael McDonald backing vocals. Saxon's Biff Byford instead decides to stretch out the syllables
Bin ich ja froh, dass ich das nicht
Mexico,
kenne.
while the band performs the bridge vocalizations on guitar. It's catchier than the common cold and actually kicks
Saxon,
off
now
Destiny
our
in
last
fine
song.
fashion.
Now our very last song.
Number 16, The Hunt by Sepultura. Original by New Model Army. Just as New Model Army's unique sound was impossible to pin down, so too were the influences
Ja gut, das
of
ist aber
Brazil's
schon ja
Sepultura
die
opening up back
Neubesetzung
in the
von
early
Sepultura.
90s. The latter's Chaos AD album featured a cover of The Hunt by New Model Army, performed in Sepultura's classically aggressive style. The band's earliest influences
Yes,
laid within
aggressive.
bestial,
Ja,
primitive
zeig mal her.
black death metal, but Chaos AD started to explore Sepultura's tribal Brazilian roots. The Hunt, as a result, feels right at home with this new feeling of experimentation. It's dark and moody stuff that rocks hard with an anthemic punch. Number 15, Come On Feel the Noise by Quiet Riot. Original by Slave. Metal Health
Auch da
by
bin
Quiet
ich raus,
Riot was
kenn ich
the
nicht.
first heavy metal album to top the Billboard 200 chart, but it didn't get there alone. This LA group had a little help from the UK, specifically Slade, whose hit Come On Feel the Noise was covered by Quiet Riot and released as a single. Metal Health, to be fair, is a pretty great album without the cover, but Slade's poppy arrangements,
Boah, die
memorable
Klamotten sind aber auch wie so ein
melodies, and
Autounfall, ne?
lyricism made it tailor-made for metal treatments.
Okay, den kenne ich doch.
Quiet
Entschuldigung.
Riot wouldn't stop there either and covered another Slade tune, Mama We're All Crazy Now, for their next album, Condition Critical. Number 14, You Really Got Me by Van Halen. Original by The Kinks. This classic rock song is remarkably heavy for 1964. No wonder You Really Got Me and The
You
Kinks
really
so
got me.
often get credited for
You
writing
really
the
got me.
blueprints for future punk and hard rock. Knowing this information, Van Halen's classic cover of the tune feels natural, an example of a hot new band paying a little tribute to the old guard.
Würde ich nicht drauf kommen, dass das von Van
Of
Halen
course,
ist.
Eddie's guitar playing manages to make this already rip-roaring cut sound even heavier, with that riff practically melting speakers from note 1. Meanwhile, David Lee Roth's caterwauling wail further sounds the charge for Van Halen's
Ja.
sleek, hard rock attack.
Stimmt.
The boys had truly kicked open the doors with this one. Number 13, Got the Time by Anthrax. Original by Joe Jackson. Obvious choices have historically never been much of an option for Anthrax when it came to cover songs.
Wake up, got another day to get through now, got another man to see, got come on the telephone. Well,
This legendary thrash metal act actually thought outside the box, achieving hits with their covers of Antisocial by French metal band Trust and this tune from Joe Jackson. Anthrax actually changes very little from Jackson's frenetic original. Got the Time still boasts boisterous
den
bass,
kenn ich, glaub
a
ich,
frantic
nicht.
pace, and energy to spare. This version just sounds more metal than new wave or post-punk.
Ist ein Ding, das sounds mehr Metal, wenn Anthrax das gemacht haben.
From Joe Jackson's snotty punk snarl.
Boss. Ist ja ein Ding.
It all works though, and Got the Time remains in the Anthrax set list to this day. Number 12. The Green Monalishi with the Two-Prong Crown by Judas Priest. Original by Fleetwood Mac. The history of the British-American Fleetwood Mac didn't begin and end with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. Their legacy as a blues and psychedelia-tinged band was secure long before that, just as Judas Priest's heavy metal story began long before their 80s
Long before.
The latter's influence from classic rock can be seen in their cover choices.
Judas Priest
such
ist jetzt
as
nicht
Diamonds and
meine
Rust by Joan Baez or Max the Green Monalishi with the Two-Prong
bevorzugte
Crown.
Band.
Priest's 70s chops are set ablaze.
Muss
as
ich ganz
they
ehrlich
take what's
sagen,
already
außer
a
Breaking
cool
the Law
psych
kenne ich da
number
nicht
and amp
viel.
up the volume. Fans responded to, and the Green Monalishi continues to be a Judas Priest set staple to this day. Number 11, All Along the Watchtower by the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Schon wieder
Original
Bob Dylan.
by Bob Dylan. A good song is a good song. It can transcend
a good song
genres
is a good
and
song, da hat er
songwriters,
recht.
even those as generational as Bob Dylan. His version of All Along the Watchtower has almost certainly been eclipsed by the Jimi Hendrix Experience cover at this point, right?
There must be some kind of way out of
Mag ich. Den mag ich absolut von Jimmy.
The latter's incendiary
Hatte meine
guitar
Phase, da habe ich viel
pyrotechnics
Jimi
steal the
Hendrix
show
und The
when it
Doors
comes
gehört.
time
Da war
for
das auch
solo.
einer meiner
But
Lieblingssongs.
Hendrix's All Along the Watchtower really just captures our attention right away. The arrangements here are evocative and groovy, hinging upon the rhythm section of Mitch Mitchell and Noel Reddy, who back up Jimmy perfectly. This is lightning in a bottle type stuff. Number 10, Bad Company by Five Finger Death Punch. Original by Bad Company. This heavy metal band from Las Vegas started out playing Bad Company to fill in time during some of their early live shows. Fans loved it so much that the track was eventually incorporated into their 2009 album, War is the Answer.
Company, always on the run.
Five Finger Death Punch, ne? Auch so eine Band, mit der ich nicht warm werde.
Almost 200 million plays on YouTube. While the original is already a beloved rock song, this cover transforms Bad Company from an easygoing jam into an anthemic banger. When the heavy guitar riff comes in, you can't help but sing along with the familiar chorus. What's more, the band used this cover as an opportunity to thank American troops serving in Iraq.
And that's why they call me Bad Company. I won't deny.
Number 9. Turn the Page by Metallica. Original by Bob Seger.
Ich glaube, Metallica haben viel gecovert in ihrem Leben.
To expose audiences to their musical influences, even going so far as to release a double disc covers collection back in 1998 titled Garage Inc.
Here I am on the road again.
It was the band's
On the
cover
road.
of Bob Seger's Turn the Page, which served as the album's first
Die
single
Road
and video.
straight
A dark and
raus aus
disturbing
der
clip
Stadt.
starring adult film star Ginger Lynn as a single mother forced to make some difficult and desperate decisions in order to provide for her daughter. Meanwhile, Metallica approaches Turn the Page with a sense of reverence for Seger's original, while at the same time lending their own musical muscle and grits to the proceedings. Number 8, Painkiller by Death. Original by Judas Priest. The Sound of Perseverance would be the
Da
final
gehöre ich ja
album from
leider
extreme
noch,
metal
leider, da
forefathers
gehöre
Death
ich zu den
before their
Glücklichen,
founder Chuck
die das noch
Schuldiner
live gesehen
succumbed
haben.
to brain
Auch wenn ich
cancer.
nach dem dritten Song rausgegangen bin. Weil mir das Gefrickel auf den Sack ging.
The band went out on a high note with the album's closing track,
da kenne ich das
however,
Original,
a ripping
Painkiller.
cover of Painkiller from Metal Gods Judas Priest.
Ja,
Schuldiner
Gott
and
würde ich
Company
nennen.
amplified the aggression tenfold on their version right from the get-go, thanks to Richard Christie's octopus-like drumming and Schuldiner's paint-peeling vocals. There's plenty of tribute here to Priest's fiery original, but make no mistake, Death made this metal classic their own in a big way. Number 7, No Ordinary Love by Deftones. Original by Sade.
Ja,
The
Deftones
are
und
well
ich, wir
known
werden,
for
glaube ich, in
their
diesem
ability
Leben
to
keine
tap
Freunde
into
mehr.
serious sensuality with their
Wie gesagt, die habe ich
atmospheric
Anfang
rock
des
music.
Jahres
So it
gesehen
sort of
und
makes
bin immer noch ein
sense
bisschen
that they would cover this
traumatisiert. Das
classic
war wie so ein
slow jam by
Autounfall.
Nigerian singer-songwriter Sade.
I give you all the love I got. I gave you more than I could give.
The band's take on No Ordinary Love keeps the mid-paced arrangement of the track relatively intact, using punchier drums and vocal effects over singer Chino Moreno's voice to retain the song's seductive sound. There's something to be said about being faithful to a classic song's heart and soul, and the Deftones manage this, while at the same time
Manage this.
leaving their own mark on this enduring hit.
This is no ordinary love.
Ja,
Number 6, Live
Live
and
and
Let
Let
Die
Die.
by
Oh,
Guns
ja.
N' Roses. Original by Paul McCartney and Wings. The chances are probably pretty good that you've heard this cover
und wenn ich mich
plenty
nicht
of
irre,
times while
ist das
driving in your
Original
car,
sogar
as this
noch
Guns
die
N' Roses take on a
Titelmusik
classic
von dem James
theme
Bond.
Has
Danke.
been a rock radio staple for years.
You were young and your heart
Danke.
was an open book.
Leben und sterben
It's
lassen.
never exactly been commonplace for rock bands to cover songs from motion picture soundtracks, but Axl Rose and Company did a great job at replicating Live and Let Die on their 1991
Auch die
album,
haben, glaube ich,
Use
gerne
Your
gecovert.
Illusion 2. G&R keep the grandiose string section and funky rock backbeat intact on their version, creating a cover which may not offer many surprises, yet delivers the goods when it comes to respecting a true classic.
Live and let die.
Number 5, Imagine by A Perfect
A
Circle.
Perfect Circle,
Original by
schön.
John Lennon. The next track on our list has been covered by numerous artists over the years, yet very few of them have done so with quite the same stylized darkness as A Perfect Circle.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Okay, kenne
The
ich das
all-star rock
Original?
group featuring Tools, Maynard
Das haben-
James Keenan released their
Zeigen
cover of John
gecovert,
Lennon's
okay.
Imagine on their third album, Emotive, a collection of politically charged cover songs designed as commentary on the 2004 U.S. presidential election. Lennon's moods of optimism, realism, and hope are presented here by A Perfect Circle in a more provocative style. The classic piano chords are still there, only twisted and performed with a much darker and more sinister intent. Number 4, I Fought the Law by The Clash. Popularized by the Bobby Fuller 4. This song may have originally been
Da
written
wusste ich
by
nicht mal, dass das eine
Texas-based
Coverversion
songwriter
ist.
Sonny Curtis of Buddy Holly's group The Crickets, but I Fought the Law was initially made popular by, well, a cover. The Bobby Fuller 4 performed the first version of I Fought the Law, with which most people are familiar.
I need this money 'cause I've been done. I fought the law.
Gut, dass ich die Version nicht kenne.
However, it
Sei
was
mir
a
verziehen.
1979 cover by the formative English punk band The Clash, which brought I Fought the Law to an even younger audience, thanks to the group's musical urgency and infectious charisma.
Danke. Genau, die Version kenne ich.
The rebellious lyrical spirit of I Fought the Law fits in perfectly with the Clash's own political fire, making this a musical match made in heaven. Number 3, The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Original
Ich hasse
by Simon
diese
and
Coverversion.
Garfunkel. Chicago's Disturbed have made their metallic mark on a number of successful cover songs
Ich
over the
verstehe
years,
nicht,
including their
das-
expert
boah,
take
das
on the
ist
80s
schrecklich.
Genesis hit Land of Confusion.
Ja, Land of... Und Meilen besser.
But Genesis aside, it's this fan-favorite cover which takes the number 3 spot on our list, thanks largely in part to Disturbed's talented frontman, David Draymond. The singer delivers a tour de force on Simon & Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence, turning what was a delicate folk ballad into an epic orchestral journey of cinematic proportions. String sections and booming percussion amplify guitarist Dan Donegan's tasteful guitar work, while Draiman lays down what may be the vocal performance of his career.
Ich hasse es.
Number 2, Holy Diver by Killswitch
Yo,
Engage.
schönes Ding.
By Dio. New England metalcore titans Killswitch
Kenn ich auch
Engage
beide
have always
Versionen.
been known for possessing an irreverent sense of humor to go along with their memorable riffs and passionate vocals.
Funktioniert auch nur mit ihm hier als Sänger. Ich weiß gar nicht, wie er heißt. Der ist ja jetzt, glaube ich, auch aus Gesundheitsgründen
The band
ausgestiegen.
truly outdid themselves, however, when it came to their cover of this 80s classic from Dio. Killswitch's version of Holy Diver turns on maximum crunch in the guitar department, while former frontman Howard Jones switches effortlessly between screams, clean singing, and a most righteous falsetto. Meanwhile, drummer Justin Foley alternates his tempo between the song's original mid-pace and a quicker pickup section, adding to the cover's musical dynamic. The band also shot a humorous video clip for the track, a goofy but loving tribute to Holy Diver's mighty medieval past.
Before we continue, check out this single from Sound Mojo's album Balance.
Nein.
Classical music reimagined as rock, hard rock, and metal.
Möchte ich
Check out
nicht.
the full track and album below.
Born in the sunlight, born in the rain. Life is a rhythm
Ui!
running through veins.
Das wäre böse gewesen.
Number 1, Faith by Limp
Oh,
Bizkit.
jawohl,
Original by
liebe
George
ich.
Michael.
Family Values Tour.
Just kidding. The redemption arc of new metal has been
Liebe
greatly
ich.
exaggerated. Number 1, Smooth Criminal by Alien Ant Farm.
Kann man sich
Original
auch geben,
by
ist
Michael
auch
Jackson. Was there
völlig
ever
okay.
any doubt? Sure, Alien Ant Farm's cover of Smooth Criminal may be the California band's one major chart-topping hit, but what a hit it was.
Ist der Sänger nicht auch vor kurzem verstorben
The
von
band
Alien
strikes a
Ant Farm?
perfect balance between treating the original with respect while placing their own particular stamp upon the king of pop. Leads
Ja, okay. Schönes Ding. Doch, da habe ich ein bisschen was gelernt, ein bisschen was kannte ich. Finde ich gut. In diesem Sinne, wir sehen uns das nächste Mal, wenn es wieder heißt, Kalle reagiert. Bis dahin. Tschüss.